All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Warm-up number 27 is on the screen. Once again, we're practicing our standard deviation. They give us 2, 6, 6, 4, 8. Give you some time for that. Get started, please. Copy and go. So, to get started, what you get for our mean on this one, please. Andrea, mean. 5.2. Hands if you got that. Looks about right. So, frozen. Let it go. So our mean is 5.2. Pass it to someone. Standard deviation. Pass it to someone, Andrea. Andres, okay. Andres, go. Standard deviation. 2.03. Hands if you got something like that. A couple. Who got something different? Aaron. 2.04. Hands if you got that. That looks a little bit closer, so maybe you're rounding. So your neighbor, above average. What is above average, please? Above average. I think Vince got this one. Above average, Vince? Above what? 7.24 and above. Hands if you got that. Yep. So that's above average. So set that aside. Copy the agenda for tonight. We got warm-up number 27 done. Today we are taking a step to the side just to revisit frequency tables. I know we already started with these, but with very simple ones at the beginning of the school year. And like I said, I was covering just the foundation so that you guys can have an idea as to where we're going. Today we're going to go a little bit more into depth with these tables. Okay? Yes, make it cute. All right, good. And tonight's home play is page 52, numbers 13, 17, and 18. Get a Cornell note ready. You don't need a Fair model today. We already have the notes or the Fair model on frequency tables. Once again, tonight's home plate, page 52, numbers 13, 17, and 18 only. All right. I'll give you guys some time to set up. All right, here we go. I can represent frequency tables into graphs. I can represent frequency tables into graphs. We started with this lesson last week in representation of graphs given a frequency table. And we talked about our road to where we're at right now. We started our school year talking about data in two categories, categorical and quantitative. And we know that another word for categorical is what? Tell your neighbor again. Yes, very good. Qualitative. Then from there we talked about frequency tables. We said that frequency tables show the frequency each class or item is addressed. And we know that these are not. And then we talked about steps in regards to frequency tables. We talked about graphs, histograms, frequency polygons, and ogives. And we did some practice with that, and we did some practice here in class as well. Today I'm going to take a step back and talk about frequency tables. So write these down, please. Frequency tables. Also known as distribution frequency tables. They're the same thing. So if you hear frequency tables or distribution frequency tables, it's the same thing. So you know what I just said, please. All right. So to start off with, Distributive frequency tables or distribution frequency tables are known as group distribution, which is this one. We already worked with those last week. Or ungroup distribution, which is that one. And you don't have to copy all the data, just copy some so you can have an example though. However, write your utensils down really quick. Without giving you a definition, I want you to look at the grouped distribution and the ungrouped distribution and tell your neighbor the difference from one to the other. Tell your neighbor the difference from one to the other. Looks like Mel's got it, very good. Lynn's got it, very good. Melissa's got it, all right. Mia's got it as well, let's go. But we're going to pick, who went last? Who? Oh, Vince, pass the one. Jet. So what's the difference between the group distribution frequency table and the ungrouped?
The values of the group one is more like a bell-shaped curve, and then the ungrouped is like
okay, that's a good observation, but that's not what makes it grouped and ungrouped. But good observation. Did you ever hear that? That the grouped has a bell-shaped distribution on the tallies, and the other one's all over the place. Okay. Did anybody say anything in regards to the class? Talk it over again. Look at the class this time, and tell your neighbor the difference from the grouped to the ungrouped. All right, Jet, pass someone. Amy, what's the difference between the grouped and the ungrouped according to the class? So one has, yes, one has the class has a lower and upper boundary, and the other one is only one number. That is correct. So ungrouped is used whenever you have data that's a very small data and you can use just units all the way through, whereas the other one is for big amounts of data where you have to create lower, upper boundaries per class as you go along. Does that make sense? Yeah? All right. The other frequency distribution table is known as a categorical, bless you. And look at it and tell your neighbor why this one is a categorical distribution frequency table. Categorical. Tell your neighbor, please, why this one's categorical. And again, a good place to start is looking at the class. Amy, pass someone. Jet. This is categorical because the classes are in letters, or in other words, they're not quantity. They are just a category, a certain category. That is correct. Now, last week, we did end up with the last type of graph, which was the ogive, that required what kind of table? Let's see if you remember. Think about it. Don't say it out loud. The ogive, without looking at your notes, required what kind of table? Talk it over to your neighbor, see if they remember what kind of table did it require. That is correct. The one that said less than, that's known as cumulative distribution. That's what we call cumulative. And that we can make for both, either the grouped or the ungrouped. Okay? So, cumulative distribution, just wanted to, passing by, just mention it. Okay? Any questions so far? We good? All right. So today, I'm going to focus more on the group distribution, just for the fact that I want us to get through some examples before we leave today. Okay? So, last week, did we cover these? Histogram, frequency, and ogives. But what do you guys notice didn't change that in order to get started? What didn't change? The table, right? Okay. Is that correct? Look at all three examples. Look at this one and this one. Wasn't it the same table to start with? Yes. Now, doesn't it beckon the question, Mr. Q, but how can we put together a frequency table like that? Good question. Copy this. Example 1. This is, I think, Zach's favorite type of work. So copy that really quick. I'll give you guys some time. Copy. All right. Some of you are already done. Some of you are finishing up. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to set up a frequency table, a distributive frequency table, and it's going to be a group. Okay? So how do we get started, Mr. Q? Well, what have we been doing on the warm-ups? We've been setting it up from lowest all the way to highest. Is that correct? Well, we're not going to do that. You're like, first things first. I want you to find the lowest and the highest data. Do that right now really quick. The lowest and the highest. All right. Once you find that, you're going to find the range. Find the range. Tell your neighbor how to find the range, please. All right. Are we doing good? Okay. I'm going to start with the highest because it's the range. Andrew, highest? 134. Minus, what's the lowest? Everyone? 100. So my range is what? 34. Okay, so step 1, if you want to call it, you identify the range. Step 2, we need to identify the width of the classes, how much it goes from one class to another. Remember last time there was a significant amount from one to the other going downward? So how do we do that, Mr. Q? Well, what we're going to do, we're going to take the range and divide it by the number of classes. Did they tell us how many classes? How many? 7. So therefore, I'm going to take my range, which was what? 34 divided by 7. Do that, please. Give me a number. I'm going to put W for, what does the W stand for? Very good. With the width. Width. All right, who's got a number for me? Who's got a number? Mia? What was it? 4 and 6 over 6/7. So Decimal form approximate what? 4.9. Okay. Now, whenever we look for a width, we're always going to round up. So what if we had 4.1? We're going to round up to the nearest whole number. So this would be 5, and this is still 5. Everybody following so far? We're not rounding off. If I was to round off, this would be close to 4.0. We're rounding up. Anything after 4 has to be what? 5. We're rounding up. Okay, so since it's 4.9, we're going to round up to 5. That's our what? Our width. Now that we have that information, now we get started with our table. Here we go. First, class limit. And we start with the lowest. What was our lowest? 100 to something else. I'm not going to write that something else, but I'm going to use the class width to go to the next class. So I'm going to go from 100 to what? 105. From 105 to what? Very good. And then? How many classes should we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and one more? 130. Okay. So what should we make the first class? 100 to what? 104. And then 109, 114, 119, 124, 129, 135. We good? So we go from 1 to 104, 105 to 109, 110, so on and so forth. All right. Now, before I continue, I want you to look at the classes, go one by one, look at them. Are there any gaps? Talk it over your neighbor. Are there any gaps? Did anybody find any gaps? Are there any gaps? No gaps. Look at it one more time before I call on someone. Look at it, go class by class, and see if there are any gaps. All right, looks like Maddie's got it. Maddie, what is the gap? Or one of them? What is it? The last one? Okay. How about between 104 and 105? Isn't there like 104.5? It's not represented here in the data given, but could there be a Fahrenheit of 104.5 degrees? Yes. So in data, this raw data, once we convert it by classes, the next one is known as class boundaries. Class boundaries. Class boundaries. And how do we get that? Well, we subtract and we add half to each limit. So here at 100, we subtract half, and that gives us what? 99.52, and we add to the upper limit, and that gives us what? 104.5. That half is going to close the gap between each class. So look what happens now here. What do I write for the next class? 104.5 to, very nice, 109.5. So the next one is, very good, 114.5. 114.5 to 119.5. 119.5 to 124.5. 124.5 to 129.5. And 129.5 to 135.5. All right? So, before I move on, tell your neighbor what step 3 would be. We went from range to the width, then what did we do? Yes, class limit. And step 4 is what? Class boundaries. In parentheses, make sure you elaborate as to how to find the class boundaries. All right, now that we have that, now we get started with our tallies. And of course, at the end, we write frequency. I'll give you some time to do the tallies, and I'll come back once you're done. Does everybody understand what we're doing? Okay, we are from from 99.9 to 104.5. You're going to look how many of these, start tallying. Let's see. Is there one that's close to that? Oh, here's one. Okay. Tally. That's it, right? Okay. Is there another one? Where? 104. Oh, right here. 2 tallies. Okay. Then I go to the next one, 104.5 to 109.5. And then and so on and so forth. So I'll give you guys some time to tally those. So now I'm in the next class. Okay? And go. All right. Who went last? Jet, pass someone. Amy, tallies for the next one. How many tallies? Hands if you got 6. Hands if you got 9. 7, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's fill out the frequency as we're going along. This one is 2, this one is 7, and so on and so forth. Okay, I'll give you a little bit more time. Amy, pass someone so that when we come back I can get that person. Male, okay. All right, I'll give you more time. All right, next class. Who was next? Oh, Mel. 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 17. Hands if you got that. Looks about right. Okay. Pass someone. Andrew, do you need more time? Okay. I'll give you guys some more time. All right, Andrew. 13. Okay, so if we go, let's go to the first row. From 15 to 19, let's see. 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 13. Am I missing any? From 15 to 19, no? You good? All right, pass someone. Mel, next class. Okay, give some time. In the meantime, while we wait for Mel for that one, let's get Mia for class of 125 to 129. And the last one, how about Vince? Yes, the last one. All right. No, you ready? 1, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hands if you got 7 for that next one. All right, looks about right. All right. Mia, next one. 1. And Vince. 1. Hands if you got that. Yeah? Tell your neighbor how to check. How do you check? It says here the data, the raw data that was given, it was for record high temperatures in the U.S. How many states? So we need to have a total of 50 frequencies here. So let's see. 17 plus 13, that's 30. 7 and 7, that's 14, 16, 17, 18. And 2, that's 20. And 30, that's 50. Okay? From 1 to 5, how comfortable are you building these tables? Yeah? 5, 5. We got this, right? So steps after class boundaries would be number 5, tally. And the last one, number 6, frequency. Because from here, then we can actually make our graphs, right? You either pick a histogram, what's the other one? Ogive, and then the other one? Starts with a P? Yeah, polygon, the polygon one, right? All right, so your home plate for tonight, you're going to be making 3 of these. I gave you some that don't have as much data and some that are actually categorical. Let's see how you do with that. So it's only 3 tables. However, look up. Example 1Q, I want you to find me the range and find me the width of the classes. Range and the width of the classes. Yes?
You have to copy all that data.
Okay, copy all that data. No, you don't have to copy all that data. Jet for Presidente, let's go. All right, find the range and the width. I'll give you guys some time for that. Would you help me with the range, please? Melissa, what'd you get? 27. Hands if you got that. That is correct. That's 69 minus 42. All right. Now that we have that, tell your neighbor how to find the width. How to find the width of the classes. Melissa, pass someone. Lynn, how do we find the width? Divide the range by the classes, which in this case are only 6. Okay, so pass someone so that they can give me that value. Patricia, what'd you get for 27 divided by 6? 4.5. All right, pass someone. Jet, what's our width?
5.
Hands if you got 5. Tell your neighbor why we got 5, please. Yes, we always round up, now not off, because if we were to round off and that was 4.4, we would go down to 4. But anything that's above the whole number, we go to the next whole number. I'll stop right there. That's the home play for tonight. From 1 to 5, how comfortable are you with this? Yeah? Just a lot of data crunching, right? Yes, Mr. Q. All right. Well, enjoy your home play. Once again, I'll stop the video right there.